What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we had an NBA Cup game to look forward to against the Boston Celtics, one of the best, the reigning NBA champions, second in the Eastern Conference team, and unfortunately, we just did not have enough to win in the end. Was it a close game? Yes, it was. Was it a competitive and fun game? Yes, it was. Did our offense shine in this game? Yes, it did. But of course, look, repetition is beginning to become a thing in this channel. The more that we talk about it, the more that it says the same. The poor defense for the Chicago Bulls, just in my opinion, and a couple of other reasons I'm going to mention, but poor defense in the end cost us as we lose to Boston. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, their game today, and your player of the game as we lose 138 to 129. The Bulls put up 129 points in a game and could not seal the victory. Now keep in mind, this is an NBA Cup game. I've mentioned this before and I will continue to mention it as long as there is NBA Cup games. When you play them, ultimately at the end of the day, points tally is going to be a little bit scuffed. Things are going to be unexpected. Score lines are going to look ridiculous, and that's because point differential matters, and teams will be looking for the highest point differential. So Boston was looking for point differential, just as the Bulls were probably looking for it when we played the Wizards and we won that game, and when I can't remember the other game that we won. But again, I think we did win 2 NBA Cup games. I could be wrong. Either way. That's the point of, I guess, why the score is probably as high as it was. Nevertheless, it is still important to talk about the Bulls' defense in this timeout. I just felt like, personally, it was the same old story as it always has been. It's just not good enough, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I think? And again, I'm not going to get frustrated because when you put up the fight that you do against the reigning NBA champions, you brought them to a close game. You know, it was quite scary a couple times there for Boston in the end. But no matter how you feel, I think the Bulls clearly need some 3-and-D guys. I think we need more of them. Our offense is actually so good. You know how good our offense is, ladies and gentlemen? I could probably look at the stats and I would put us up against any offensive team in the league this season. That's how good our offense has been. Zach LaVine has been an unbelievable shooter this year. Vucevic has been an unbelievable offensive productive player this year. We got guys like Kobe, once again, that can give you a lot of minutes and can give you some points every now and then. Guys like Josh Giddey facilitating and running the tempo. Lonzo Ball, when he's healthy and ready to play, can do the same. Io finding his 10 to 12 to 15 points every single game. There's so much scoring on this team. It's actually unbelievable. I did not think by any stretch of the means our offense would be as good as it is this season. I really didn't believe it'd be this good. Regardless of that, it's the defense that lets us down. So that's what I think the Bulls need to focus on in the trade period. That's what I think the Bulls need to focus on in the draft. That's what I think the Bulls need to focus. I mean, look, if we get the first pick, you go for the best talent. I think you should go for the best talent anyway. Let me change my phrase on that. But in terms of free agency, and maybe if the best guy is a 3-and-D guy, that helps us out in the draft. I think that's what we need because our defense is the #1 priority we need to focus on if we're going to be a good team. Our offense is there. It's actually there. It's insane. You know, how many games are we into the season now? 13-8, so that's 20. Oh, no, I'm not good at math. I don't know how many games that is. Do the math yourself, but it's over 20 games, right? I think it's 21 games. 21 games into the season. Wow. But yeah, and our offense is up there, ladies and gentlemen. So I think our defense is the key area we need to focus on, and that's the area we need to address. It's almost like if we had Caruso, we would be a playoff team right now. That's kind of how it feels. You know, if you had Giddey and Caruso is what I mean. But yeah, anyway. That's all I really wanted to focus on in that regard. It's very clear our defense needs work. Now, in terms of what quarter kind of let us down today, I think the key one was, for the Chicago Bulls at least, it was the first quarter where we allowed Boston to give 39 points, and the fourth quarter where we allowed Boston to get 42 points. Once again, it was a close time, close battle throughout the entirety of the game. The Bulls had a very strong second quarter that made this very competitive. Again, it just wasn't enough in the end, and that does hurt, but you got to move on. When you face a team like Boston and you fight the way that we fight, look, every loss is going to feel a little bit tough to swallow. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm happy that we lost the game. I don't think I'll ever feel that way. Even though I understand losing is actually could be a benefit in the future, I don't feel happy about that situation. But I still want to see competitive, tough fights. When you face Boston, yes, you still give up almost 140 points to them, but it was a good game in our own right. We got to give respect to ourselves, and sometimes you need to give yourself a break every now and then. We understand we're not the best team in the Eastern Conference, so again, when I'm sulking, for example, about getting 140 points to the Rockets or the Memphis Grizzlies, I think that's a different story than when you're giving it up to the NBA champions. That's how I feel. So yeah, tough ones to swallow, but it is what it is. I want to get down to the second reason why I feel like we lost this game, and I personally haven't really gone at the coach or the coaching staff this season, but I think it is time to address what happened in this game against Boston. I felt like there was a couple of missed rotations, couple of minutes things, and I think Billy Donovan just took players out when they were actually rolling for the Chicago Bulls, if you know what I mean. I mean, there are certain guys that you could give an example to. The one guy I want to talk about here is actually Josh Giddey. Now, he only had 4 points in this game, but 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and we were playing better with him in the lineup, and I think everybody else contributed. I mean, look at the guys in the starting lineup that benefited from a Josh Giddey, in my eyes at least. Vucevic had 32 points and Levine had 29, Ayo had 13 and Kobe had 11. And I think a lot of that was due to the fact that Josh Giddey was in the game helping facilitate and run the offense for those guys. And then you got guys on the bench like Taylor Horton-Tucker that dropped 16 points in 14 minutes. I personally think we should have gave him a little bit more time out there. I understand why we do that. Look, we've given time to guys like Matas Bazelis when he's playing really, really well. We've given a lot of time to a lot of guys, but I feel like with Taylor Horton-Tucker, he gets set minutes all the time. He's never allowed to continue to roll on, and he's never necessarily... He always kind of plays within the range, if you know what I mean, and he gets taken out no matter how good he plays. I thought that was a bit annoying because 16 points off the bench is a fantastic output in 14 minutes, and it kind of went wasted in my opinion. So I definitely felt like there was a bit of issues when it comes to rotations and minutes, and that has to fall on the coaching staff. He has the big responsibility to determine the minutes, to determine the hot hand and who plays and who doesn't play. And when you get it wrong, that has to fall on the coaching staff. So I do, in some small way, blame Billy Donovan for this loss. Now, I haven't really gone at the coaching staff because I ultimately feel not everything is the coaching staff's fault this season. Our offense is clicking on a level I've not seen before in a long time for this Bulls team, if ever, dropping the amount of points that we're dropping. But also, I think defensively, I could say it's the coaching staff, but I put it also down to effort. I don't put late rotations down to the coaching staff. I don't put, I guess, guys not keeping up with their man on a pick and roll or point attack pick and roll, or I guess getting drove past every single possession. I can't put that on coaching. So that's why I haven't really mentioned the coaching staff, but today I think there's a valid reason to do so. With that being said, my player of the game is Nikola Vucevic. Once again, another strong performance today. 32 points and 3 assists with 11 rebounds. Was fantastic in this game. And as per usual, Levine and Vucevic, I mean, the two guys that we want out of the Chicago Bulls for the most part, many Bulls fans still do, are the two guys, in my opinion, having the best season for the Bulls. So, you know, things could get a lot worse from here, or at the end of the day, maybe the Bulls change their mind. I don't know what decision is going to be made based on their futures. And I think it's going to be swayed either way. I think a lot of people want Levine and Vucevic still to be traded. Let me know in the comments below if you do. But I think there are going to be a lot of people now that are actually dreading the fact that Levine and Vucevic could be on the trade block, because our offense is so fun to watch and we are an entertaining team at the end of the day. When you trade two of the guys that are responsible for that, you're going to suck the life out of the team in many ways. I think it's up in the air. My personal opinion, I think we got to put the future first. So I would still be down to trading them, but for the right asset. Same with Patrick Williams. The right asset has to come knocking on the door. Otherwise, there's no points in trading them for nothing, if you know what I mean. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, follow, and or subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.